The Classic TV channel is your happy trails to golden oldies television from the 1940s through the formative years of the 1950s and 60s. Enjoy restored TV shows Mickey Rooney Show, Groucho Marx, Trouble with Father, Terry and the Pirates, One Step Beyond, Beverly Hillbillies, Bonanza, The Lucy Show, Dick Van Dyke, Annie Oakley, Ozzie and Harriet, The Howdy Doody Show, and many, many more. Binge your night away. So return with us now to those golden days of yesteryear.
So, Mr. Honeywell hasn't got the nerve to tell me to my face that I can't take Margie to Hawaii with me. Just blows town and leaves a memo. All right, Betty, sit down and let's have it.
Quote, first find out if Knucklehead Albright has blabbed the client's name to Margie.
I never discuss business with Knucklehead.
That's just the way Mr. Honeywell talks. You know he always depends on you to handle the important deals. In fact, he's left this one entirely up to you, with a few suggestions.
Yeah, like make me break my promise to take Margie with me, but why?
Quote, our prospective client is Nan Carter, the famous movie star who is now semi-retired and living in Honolulu.
A big scoop. Everybody knows that.
What the public does not know is that Nan Carter has a grown son almost 30 years old whom she passes off as her nephew. To the world, she still poses as the youthful, glamorous movie star.
Well, so what?
Even in her business contacts, she favors younger men. Therefore, Albright must not show up in Hawaii with a grown daughter. Also, he is to dye his hair and mustache to look younger.
Dye my hair?
If Albright blows his cork, tell him our competitors, Conway and Staub, are sending Phil Hubbard, their top glamour boy, to snatch Nan Carter's account away from us.
Phil Hubbard, eh? Oh, he's the athletic type and a real ladies' man. That's rugged competition.
I'll back you against him sight unseen.
Thanks, Betty. Tennis has kept me in good shape, and if I touch up my hair a little, by golly, I'll do it.
Here's your new ticket. The plane leaves tonight.
Oh, but Margie already has our tickets for tomorrow's plane. What am I going to tell her?
Mr. Honeywell thought of that, too. Quote, tell Margie there's been a switch in plans, an emergency. Instead of Hawaii, you have to go to Nome, Alaska, or any place where she won't want to tag along.
Well, I have to admit it. The old boy thought of everything. Okay, take a memo to Mr. Honeywell. Number one, I am turning the original 2 tickets over to Margie with the instructions to cash them in and use the money herself. 2, said cash to be charged to Honeywell and Todd for expenses. 3, how do you like those apples, wise guy?
Now, don't fall for any of those Eskimo girls, Dad.
Oh, you're a piece to take it like this, honey. Now, remember, turn in those plane tickets and the money is all yours.
Thanks, Dad. You're swell.
Hey, what's going on here, Vern? I thought we had a date tonight.
It's an emergency, Roberta. Dad's taking a plane for Alaska.
Hey, yes, a big deal with an old sourdough up there. Oh, I'm sorry about our date tonight, dear, but when I come back, I'll make it all up to you. Well, aloha. I mean, mush.
Wouldn't you know this would happen when I had my heart set on Honolulu? Well, here's a consolation prize anyway. Dad said I could turn these tickets in and do anything I like with the money. But all I really wanted to do was go to Hawaii.
Well, what's stopping you?
Huh?
You got the tickets, and he said you could use the money any way you liked, didn't he?
That's what the man said.
And inasmuch as there are 2 tickets, and out of deference to your dear departed father, I wouldn't think of letting you go without a chaperone.
We'll start packing. Our plane leaves in the morning.
Good morning, Luau. Am I the first one down for breakfast?
Miss Carter will be down any minute.
I'll work up an appetite with a few big gulps of this marvelous air. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I told you to hide
Hey.
these pictures of Tom while Mr. Albright and Mr. Hubbard were here.
I'm sorry, Miss
Carter. Now put it away and get out the ones that Tom signed your loving nephew.
14, 15, 16, 117, 118, 119.
My, athletics so early in the morning?
Oh, it's this air. It makes me feel like a kid again.
Nonsense, darling. You feel young because you are young. Why, you could be the leading man in one of my films. Tall, handsome, and not a gray hair in your head.
I imagine there are a few underneath. Appearances are deceiving sometimes, like the woman who was a decided blonde.
Oh?
You should have seen her before she decided.
Well, I must confess that I touch up my hair occasionally, but only for screen roles, of course. You see, I have just 1 or 2 nasty little gray intruders, but then I'm only 39.
Just like Jack Benny.
Oh?
I mean, 39 is a very famous age, and you're a very famous star.
And what about you, darling? You can't be much older than 39 yourself, are you?
Well, I just passed 41.
41. But how wonderful. And so young to be a widower and a successful investment counselor. You are a widower, aren't you?
Oh, yes, that's true. I mean, that's true. Free, unattached, and 41.
We're 2 of a kind, darling. Unattached and lonely. All I have is Tom, my nephew. Do you have children?
Well, yes, just a daughter.
Oh.
Oh, she's a sweet little thing, but I had to leave her home with her nurse. She's too young to travel.
Oh, just a baby. How darling. I'd love to see her if she's anything like her young, handsome father.
Oh, you must come to New York sometime. Honeywell and Todd believe in the personal touch with their new clients.
Not so fast there, Albright. The beautiful Nan isn't your client yet. I'll have something to say about that. Good morning, you gorgeous creature.
Control yourself, darling. Your rival will be jealous. Business rival, I mean, of course. Do you know Philip Hubbard?
Do I know this old goat? Hiya, Vern. What do you hear from the old age pension?
Oh, so you're old friends. How divine.
Not friends exactly, but we've met in a business way.
Say, you know, there's something different about you, old man. You look a lot younger than I remembered. Haven't started dyeing your hair, have you?
Oh, come on, boys. Don't fight over little me before breakfast. Sit down, darling.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nan, but I never eat breakfast before my morning swim. How about you, Vern? Care to dunk the flab?
No, thanks. I'll sit here with Nan.
Oh, don't be an old fogey. It'll do you good. Come on your feet. I'll help you. See you later, beautiful lady.
I'm telling you the truth, girls. My aunt would be delighted to put you up while you're in the islands.
Well, that's very nice of you, Mr. Carter, but...
Tom, now you don't want to spend your vacation in paradise at some hotel.
But, Mr. Carter, Tom, we just met you. Your aunt would scream if you dragged in house guests without warning.
But she loves to have people around. You know how movie stars are.
Movie stars. Carter. You mean your aunt is Nan Carter?
That's right. I'll even get her to throw a big luau if you'll come. You know, real native-style party. Oh, you'll have a lot of fun.
Well, I'd certainly like to meet Nan Carter.
And your father can't disapprove because he's in Nome, Alaska. Does that do anything for you?
Tom, you've got yourself a couple of house guests.
Swell.
Just listen to that ocean roar. Sounds like Dad when I've done something I shouldn't.
Now, there's no reason why we shouldn't have accepted Tom's invitation. And besides, we've never met a movie star.
Hi.
Hi. Ready to go down and meet the celebrities?
More movie stars?
No, these are just plain old businessmen, according to our maid, Kahlua. I haven't met them.
Businessmen? Now, that's something more in my line.
Well, I'd better warn you, Roberta. Andy's probably got her eye on one of them, if not both.
Well, you go on ahead, Tom. I want to make sure I look just right. I've never met a movie star before.
Okay, Margie, I won't mention you girls until you make your entrance. We'll surprise Aunt Nan.
Come on, Roberta.
Oh, it couldn't be. Hello? Hello?
He's supposed to be in Alaska.
We've got to get out of here. Roberta, you start packing. I'll go find Tom and tell him not to spill the beans.
Darling, what happened?
Well, you see, the screen was moving across the room, and I pretended I didn't see it until I had a chance to sneak up on it, and
Drunk. Plain, stinking drunk.
Oh, you must be Nan's nephew that I've heard so much about. My name is Albright, Vern Albright.
Albright? You wouldn't have a daughter, would you? I came over in the same plane with a Margie Albright. In fact, she and her companion are right upstairs.
Oh, fine, fine. I was just telling Nan all about my little... Margie? She is your daughter. Swell.
I brought Margie and her companion, Miss Townsend, over for the Luau tomorrow night. I knew you wouldn't mind.
Why, of course not, Tom. I thought you said Margie was a baby with a nurse.
Oh, I didn't say baby. You said baby. I just said little girl. And Roberta, Miss Townsend, she isn't her nurse. She's her companion, like Tom said. You did say companion, didn't you, Tom? Oh, I've got to stop them. Little Margie will just be dying to see her daddy. Come on, Tom, we'll be right back, won't we? And if his mother finds out I've got a grown daughter, I'll be a dead duck.
Well, you can't blame me this time, Dad. You said you were going to Alaska.
Yeah, to see an old sourdough.
Oh, that was just a little white lie for business reasons.
And what's with that trick dye job on your hair? That's one white lie that turned black pretty fast. And don't tell me that's business.
As a matter of fact, it is. Phil Hubbard, who's my competition in this deal, is only about 40. And Nan, Miss Carter, prefers, she'd rather...
I'll bet she would.
What he's trying to say is, Mother likes her men young, even businessmen.
I see. Well, forgive me if I don't stick around for this middle-aged ogling match.
You can't leave now, either of you. Don't you understand? I've got to produce a child.
Dad, you mean you want me to play a little kid?
There's no other solution. Honey, I'm in an awful jam. You've got to help me.
I think it's a terrific idea. Mother's been pulling the same gag with me for years. Now she's going to have it pulled on her. Come on, Margie, you can do it.
But what about clothes? These things aren't exactly rompers, you know.
Well, I'll go into town and get some kids' stuff. And a uniform for you, Nursey.
I'm
so sorry your little girl isn't feeling very well. I was disappointed I couldn't meet her last night.
She's all right this morning. You know how children are. They recuperate quickly. As a matter of fact, she's gone for a walk on the beach with her nurse.
Just how old is she, Dad? Margie, I mean.
Margie? Let's see now.
Going on 12, isn't she? That's what she said on the plane.
Oh, that's right, Tom.
Here she comes now.
See what I found on the beach, Daddy, dear?
Oh, now, baby, where are your manners? Oh, you haven't met our hostess, Miss Carter. This is my daughter, Margie, and her nurse, Roberta Townsend.
Miss Carter, this is the happiest moment of my short young life. Think of little me meeting the most beautiful and glamorous movie star in the whole world.
How sweet of you, darling. But aren't you an awfully big girl for 12 years old?
Yes, ma'am. I eat a lot. Daddy says when I'm 13, I can have a girdle.
Aren't you going to say good morning to Uncle Tom? Oh, I think it's about time I got married, so I could have someone like Margie for my very own. How about a kiss for your Uncle Tom? Pay for that lollipop I gave you on the plane.
Tom, cut that out. Margie has a little cold, and you'll catch it.
I'm just like Daddy. So affectionate.
Oh, I think I'll go for a swim.
Mr. Hubbard, telephone call from New York. Mr. Conway.
Oh, boss checking up on you, eh, Phil?
Hello? Oh, hello, Mr. Conway. No, not much progress yet. Albright's playing it pretty cool. He even sent for his daughter to flatter Nan into taking his deal. Yeah, that's right. She's a big lot of a kid, too, for 12 years old. What? Oh, you must be mistaken. She's got pigtails. In her 20s. Why, that dirty crook. Say, wait a minute. Do you happen to know a girl by the name of Roberta Townsend? Albright's girlfriend? Say, this is perfect. Yes, Mr. Conway, I have got an idea. Oh, no, I'm not going to expose Albright. I'm going to let his girlfriend do it for me. That's right. Hello, Miss Townsend. I've been waiting for you. I just couldn't bear to think of a pretty girl like you going to the Luau without an escort. Mr. Albright will be pretty busy with his new flame as usual.
And just how busy is he, usually?
The situation's completely out of control, I'm afraid. I've resigned myself to losing the account. It's only natural that Nan would sign with her fiancé.
Fiancé? Do you mean he's going to marry her?
Well, the way he's been romancing her, I'm sure he'd do the right thing. Shall we go?
Look at him sweet-talking that hangover from silent pictures.
Now, Roberta, take it easy.
They do make a handsome couple, don't they? Wouldn't surprise me if they announced their engagement tonight.
Oh, Miss Townsend, It's past little Margie's bedtime. You better take her upstairs and tuck her in. And stay with her, won't you?
Oh, darling. It's her first luau. Let her enjoy it a little longer.
Oh, Miss Carter, you're an angel. Just like you were in Roses from Heaven.
Oh, did you like me in that?
Like you? I positively swooned.
Pass the cigarettes before I swoon.
That dress you wore in the love scene was the living end. But then you don't need gorgeous clothes to make you look dreamy. Not with the divine figure you've got. I'm only 12, but golly, you look younger than I do.
Margie, put that cigarette down.
What cigarette? Oh, this cigarette. I was just lighting it for Daddykins.
Margie, I've told you time and time again not to light my cigarettes. Miss Townsend, this is all your fault.
My fault?
Yes, you haven't been strict enough with her. Now, you take her upstairs at once and stay there. And that is an order.
Come on, Nursey. Daddy's right. Margie did a naughty.
You go ahead if you want to, but I'm not going to let that woman hook your father.
Hook him? What do you mean?
That Hubbard character told me that Pop's on the verge of popping the question. And if he does, what I'm going to throw ain't rice.
Nan, I know this is no time to talk business, but the deal that I have to offer you is attractive.
Also the man offering it?
Oh, I don't know about that. After all, I am what I am.
Oh. Don't get all steamed up. I'm sure Dad's not serious about her.
Oh, darling, you're so masterful. I'm so glad we found each other.
Roberta, what are you doing?
Now put out the fire. You don't want that for a stepmother, do you?
Why wait any longer? Why not make a decision tonight?
Anything to make you happy, darling.
Man the pumps, girl.
This will be quite a blow to my rival there.
What's the matter, darling?
It isn't raining tonight, is it? Must be a heavy dew.
You're right, darling. It's unusually damp for this time of the year.
Does the tide come up this far?
I'll put it in overdrive.
Very funny, Albright. Oh, Nan, darling, I didn't mean to soak you.
You idiot! You're just jealous of Vern. Get out! Get out of my house!
He get out. What about Albright, that phony daughter of his? She's in her 20s, and I can prove it. And that nurse. That isn't a nurse, that's his girlfriend.
Vern, is this true?
Well, yes, in a sort of a way, but I can explain.
Oh!
Oh, Nan, wait! Oh, you stool pigeon!
Please, Miss Carter, you've got to listen to me. You can't blame Dad. It was all my fault. Tom, can't you make her listen?
I think I can. That's about time, too. Come on, Margie.
All right, Hubbard. Take your beating like a man.
You're out of your class, Albright. Please don't make me hit an old man.
Never mind the ethics. Just belt him one for me. Come on, Mom. You can't blame Mr. Albright for doing the same thing you've been doing all these years.
Well, I guess I have been very silly. Forgive me, son.
Then you'll forgive Dad and go through with the deal like the swell person you are in your pictures. And I have seen all of them, honestly.
Nan? Oh, Nan, please, you've got to listen.
Margie has explained everything. Now, come on. I want to tell the others that you're handling all my business affairs from now on. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a happy announcement to make concerning me and this charming gentleman at my side. You're thinking of saying I do to that woman. You'd better get a snorkel, too.
Roberta, you don't understand.
Women, you just can't win.
You know, Dad, I'm glad you let your hair go back to its natural color. You're much handsomer this way.
Really? Well, thank you, Margie. As a matter of fact, Roberta likes it better, too. She says that the white is very distinguished.
Oh, yes, Dad. And not only that, it's also waterproof.
Well, that's my little Margie.